Hello and welcome to another World of Warplanes replay video with me, Certain Death. Continuing my recent theme of doing reviews of low tier fighters, today we're going to have a look at this one. It's the Japanese tier 2 fighter, the Kawasaki Ki-10. And have a look and see what it's good at, what it's not so good at, whether it plays well or not, and whether it's worth playing in the game. As ever, it's a tier 2 plane, so it's pretty easy to get these things and try them out for yourself and see if you like them. It's not a bad matchup for this. We're just going to go to work and see what the plane does well, what it doesn't do so well, and as ever talk about its stats along the way, but not get into the boring details of pulling up actual numbers and things. We'll just chat about a few things. So, I've already mentioned it's a tier 2 Japanese fighter, and therefore I'm kind of probably going to be comparing it along the way to things such as the Bristol Bulldog, which I reviewed 2 or 3 weeks ago, and maybe the AR-67 or the FW-56 Stosser, which I reviewed just a couple of days ago. So you can see here it is. The first thing I'm looking at now is manoeuvrability wise, it feels quite nice. It's a typical light fighter plane at tier 2 in the sense that it's only got 90 hit points, but that's fairly normal, that's fairly standard, nothing too unusual there. And first thing I'm having a look at now is the speed of it. Now its speed's a little bit lacking. It seems to be plodding along when I'm not actually boosting at around the 200 to 210 kilometers per hour, which is not stunning, not fantastic. I just did a review video of the tier 2 premium plane, the Wolf 56 Stosser, a couple of days ago, and I was saying the exact same thing, that actually while its guns and things worked fine, the biggest problem with it was actually getting into combat, but it was manageable, and it seems to be the same with this. Now, first thing you'll notice here straight away is the guns, although they're hitting, well, they're not doing a whole lot here. I'm just tickling away, doing a little bit of damage at a time, and yeah, a little bit lackluster, not too stunning right now. So, hit points wise, we've talked about it's 90, it's not too bad. Manoeuvrability rating on paper is 87, and it feels like that in game. It does feel like it nips from left to right pretty substantially. That's okay, can't really complain at that. On paper it has a turning circle of 8.3 seconds, which is ridiculously good actually. I mean, I know it's only tier 2 and therefore it's comparable to 1 or 2 others, but it is pretty good to be able to get turned around. It certainly means you can either get onto the tail of people quite effectively, or if you get somebody decides to chase you down, you've got a reasonable chance of shrugging them off and maybe outturning them to get away from them. You're not going to outrun them, you haven't got the speed to try and outburn someone, so you're really going to rely upon that manoeuvrability to try and turn out of the way. So we've already been in the first sector, done a little bit of damage, and we're just approaching the second place now, and see if we can go to work and see if we can get a little bit more done with this, see if we can get this plane to work for us. The suggested altitude for this aircraft to be fighting at is about 600 meters. It's quite a low-level fighter. I normally, as you just saw me do there, I normally tend to rise up to a higher altitude on approach to new sectors, so that I can always drop down upon people, gain a bit of speed as I'm approaching them. So I've got on the tail of this guy here, managed to polish him off there. So I've just passed the 1,000 combat points, which is quite nice. But I still don't feel at the minute that I've had a massive impact on this game just yet. Oh, we've got somebody else here now, and he's looking the other way, tunnel vision man. So yeah, I can turn around and get behind him very, very effectively. So to be honest, by the time he's passed by me, he's only gone past maybe 2 or 3 seconds ago, and I'm on his tail already, and he's out of there. 1,700 combat points, flying start award achieved. Speaking of the guns, then the guns are at, it only has 2 7.7mm guns, which are not wonderful. I mean, they'll work, they'll do a job, they're doing okay, as you can see again here. Particularly against this guy, he's a heavy fighter with a reasonable amount of hit points, so you've got to work a bit harder to get rid of him, but they'll do okay, they're just not fantastic. With an effective gunnery range of 420 meters, that doesn't mean that you can't shoot beyond that range. You can. It just means that the guns are less likely to hit their target and less likely to actually score damage. Now you see here, what I had was somebody a heavy fighter trying to come straight at me. If that happens and you're in a light fighter, frankly speaking, you'd be a fool to try and take them on in a one-on-one, because if they don't shoot you out the sky with their normally much better guns than yourself, they'll just ram into you and just knock you out the sky. So best thing to do is do what I did there. If you get a couple of shots in, fine, then just bank away, get off and then get behind them, finish them off from behind, because you will then have the manoeuvrability to outgun them quite easily. So we're doing alright now. I've just got the grade 5 fighter award, just past 3,500 combat points, and although the guns are a little bit lacking, they're doing alright. I can't really complain too much at them. Game wise, it's still a little bit in the balance. I mean, to be honest, it's very in the balance at this stage in the game. Our team's slightly ahead, but not significantly so. And all I'm doing here is basically trying to rack up my points by defending sectors. Because the enemy are still attacking this sector, I have no reason to go somewhere else. You will sometimes see some people in the game who will take part in an offensive maneuver to take a sector, and then the moment it's gone blue, they're out of there, they're going somewhere else. Now, I would do that myself if there's no threat to that sector, but as long as the enemy are attacking this, then I can probably get more defense points. Well, I certainly can get more defense points by just staying here, just staying in this area. For those that don't know, by the way, as long as you're doing the bulk of your work inside that sort of pale blue circle on the mini-map, then that's when you're going to get your defense points. If you drift off out of there, you'll still get points for shooting down planes, but you won't get a lot of them. I'm desperately trying to catch up with this heavy fighter here, and I'm struggling a bit because I was pushing the altitude ceiling a little bit. And I'm just taking a bit of damage there from someone as he's gone past. But I'm almost on the 5,000 combat points mark now. And still just working this same sector because the enemy keep coming back to it, so I can just keep doing my job. The job of fighters is not, generally speaking, to actually take sectors, because you'll tend to find that your attack aircraft or multi-role planes or even bombers will do that for you. It's more to get rid of well, any defense aircraft early on in the game, but after that it's to be chasing down attacking enemy planes and just polishing them off, getting rid of them. This guy's making quite hard work for me. Now, what I've done there is I have not forgotten about that other person. I've just seen an easier target, to be honest, and there's no shame in that. There are some people that say, oh, well, you should have chased the other guy first. I'm back on his tail now. I was having some difficulty keeping up with him, so I almost lulled him into the belief of, oh, he's left me alone, so I can just go and polish somebody else off and then drop back in behind him, have one eye on him all the time. Once again, we've got a heavy fighter coming straight towards me. I'm going to put... he's actually not, he's going away from me, to tell a lie. I'm trying to just do a bit of damage to him. Because of the lacking speed, I'm not going to catch him up, so there's no point in trying to. Someone above me here, but he's overhead. Let's look for targets now. So we're now just searching around for targets, trying to stay where possible in that blue sector, just to get the defense points all the time. So the game's looking like it's going to go our way. We've just passed the 50% superiority mark. And sorry, we've just achieved the 50% superiority mark, and the others are just around the 25. So, but I have seen things go terribly wrong in the past before, particularly once the squall line comes down. Do remember that if all aircraft are destroyed, it's an automatic win for whichever team did the killing. So you have to watch out for that. I have been involved a few times in the past in a team where we've been winning, and then everyone's got shot down, myself included. And similarly, I've been on a losing team before. Actually, I've been on a team quite recently where we were a long way behind and managed to kill off everybody and take the win. I've just got the grade 4 fighter reward there. Now I'm trying to get involved with these guys a bit higher up, but this is the problem with low level altitude fighters. When you want to try and engage somebody who's a few hundred meters above you, you just simply don't have the boost or the power to get there. And I'm trying desperately to help out, because this guy's is one our ally's got this person on his tail, and I really want to help him out here. Somebody else has done the job anyway, that's okay. So you'll see I've been actually in this same sector now for a few minutes. Again, they've got somebody going head to head with me. I'm just going to bank out the way, try and outturn him and try and drop in behind him. There we go. Just trying. He's actually this guy's really trying to work me now. Now this person really wants me as his target. I'm quite fortunate here that I'm not the only ally here, so that he will be getting some heat from other people. So we're getting into a bit of a turning contest here. Now this shows where one of the strengths of this little plane, and generally most little low-level manoeuvrable fighters, is that when you get into a one-on-one turning contest, you will tend to win most of the time. So now I've got on his tail, and I can just polish him off. And I almost clipped somebody from my own team there. 7,500 combat points achieved, and the game is now winding to a close. We've just got about 3/4 of the superiority acquired. If you get too close to somebody like that, I was actually holding the S key there, trying to really slow myself down, but I just had too much momentum. So I just do the right thing, bank away there, don't risk clipping them, because if you touch them, you're probably going to end up crashing. So yeah, we're nearly at the end of this game now, and I'm quite keen to see this one out in a single sortie, because it's always quite nice if you manage to do that. So I'm just polishing off any additional players we can now. See if I can just put extra damage down, because every little bit helps. 8,000 combat points achieved. This person is making hard work of it, so I'll try turning the other way, get behind him from a different angle. There we go. Can I get the kill? Yep, excellent stuff. Almost at the 8,500 now, and the game is now down to its last few seconds of gameplay. So, on the whole, what's this plane like then? Well, I like it. Yeah, it's I mentioned earlier, its biggest problem, like the FW56 Stosser I mentioned a couple of days ago, is it's lacking a bit in speed and its guns are not super powerful, but it's manoeuvrable. It's nippy enough to get around, and if you like dogfighting, your style of play is to, as I like to do, work from plane to plane, getting on the tails of people and putting damage down. It's a good bit of fun. I said right at the beginning of the video, it's a tier 2 fighter, and to be honest, in this game you can go to tier 2 in half an hour's play, so you don't have to try very hard to try it for yourself. 10,000 combat points done, Flying Start Award, supporting fire, Hunt for Hawk, fairly standard things, the grade 3 fighter, and finished second of the team overall. Can't really complain of that. On the whole, it's been quite a nice battle, did my bit. Even though it's a non-premium plane, pulled in 27,000 credits, quite nice. And yeah, did well. The bomber guy managed to outscore me, but that's not unsurprising. He's tier 3 and bombers can quite easily do a lot. As ever, I hope you've enjoyed the video and it's kept you informed as to what's happening with those low tier fighters. I'll keep the videos coming. Please do share and subscribe. Thanks very much. Goodbye.